Hello, it is Friday, March 26th, 2021, and today we are going to work a little bit more on the dungeon crawler game that we were working on earlier today. So we do have a new overlay for Twitch, which I have to still actually add and everything. So between streams, I experimented with it. It does seem to work. Like I was able to, well, I mean, I know it works, but I was able to edit it and everything like that, so that's good. I just need to go through, get all the social stuff, and rebrand the channel so that it's completely consistent. So that's really good. Thank you for that, Omar. Anyway, I will definitely have that set up. So I'll commit to having that set up for the politics stream tomorrow, so we can try it out. Also having my coffee right now. Second cup of coffee. Anyway, what we want to do is, okay, so let me just run this and show you what we have so far. So we have the UI, we have all that stuff. The UI is completely non-functional at the moment. You can just click buttons, but they don't really do anything. The only actual working code is the code to populate this stat list, but right now everything is zeroed out. The stats don't actually do, or keep saying stats. They're not stats, they're resources. Difference. But yeah, the resource list gets populated here. That's about it. The ship name and the type of ship doesn't change. The goal is going to be that whenever you click one of these buttons, there will be a there will be a list that appears in the middle. And this one will open the inventory so you can see what items you have. This will open the skills that you could learn. This will open the skills that you have. This will move to the next turn. And there will ultimately be a map in the center here, and what that will do, whenever there's no menus open, is you will be able to move between different grid spaces. In each grid space you will have like a ship that you can attack, and so whenever you do that, you'll move into a first-person view of a map, kind of like this. So you have your first-person view kind of like this. You'll be moving around, etc., etc. We need to get that part set up. So this is currently being spawned, using some data that we hard code, and ultimately I think these ship maps are just going to be purely hard coded, and they're going to have maybe some dynamic pieces to them, just depending on how things go. But yeah, that comes from, let me see if I can find it. It's not in tiles. It is in what? It is in scripts. That's what I was looking for. Scripts map, or scripts data, and I think it's map data is where we have it. Yeah, so this is how the ships are represented. So everything is a bit flag. Well, the number is the bit flag for each type of piece. So these like wedge things, things at 45-degree angles, they're called wedges, so they're WO4s. And then the underscore just means that it's a wall. So it's a wall with a bit flag of 1, so it's a wall facing up like that. These are empties, they're basically nulls. That null is defined right here. So if there's a null in the tile thing, or in this tile map, it doesn't actually create anything. So the way that we're doing this, these are actually just static references. They're references to static fields in the tile class itself. So the tile done as two partials. The first partial just declares a string which links it to the prefab. This is the prefab for that type of tile, so it's tile 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, etc. And then we have another partial, and all this does is this declares a list of tiles. Also, we don't need this all. That was for some demonstration, and I don't remember what it was. So the map data itself does a static import to tile. That's how we can reference these without saying tile dot whatever. And this is how we're going to store all the map data. It's just going to have a static reference. There might be a list of these collected somewhere else. I'm going to pick a random one at some point, depending on like different sizes, etc., etc. So I do know, or I do have paper for the designs of at least some of them, so I'm going to try to implement at least one of these today and see what we can do with that. I'm trying to think here. So there's at least, I think, 4 or 5 different sizes of ship that we're going to have, and of course it's going to start out really tiny, and then it's going to get much larger as the player progresses through the game. So yeah, figure that out. But what we need to do now, or at least the first thing I want to do, is I want to fix the graphics a little bit so that we can tell when we're moving around. And of course I can't show it, but we're going to pretend that you understand. And what I'll do, or what I want to do is I have these textures. They are all... What on earth? That's a strange texture. Actually, let me turn these into 1024s. Let me see if that fixes the way that looks weird. Why does that look so terrible? Maybe that'll look better later. Yeah, that's odd. Shouldn't look like that. But anyway, yeah, just these awful textures for everything. But yeah, we'll at least we'll be able to see where we're going, is my point. So what we want to do first is we want to create materials for these. So probably in the materials folder, we want a, where is it? A material. Yeah, so this will be the wall material. And we're going to use URP unlit for the moment. And the texture file, we will use, well, that's interesting. All right, wall. Yeah, we'll use that texture. And then let's duplicate this for the ceiling and the floor. And so this will be, we'll use the floor. And then you will use the ceiling. Ceiling, all right. And then what we want to do is we want to put this in our data, just say resource sprites. Let's say resources, really. So these will be the materials. So what this is here, this is a scriptable dictionary that I ended up creating. It's a custom thing. All it does is it just stores a reference. Basically, I give it a list of elements, and it will just create a map at runtime from the name of the element to the actual element itself. So I think this one is, yeah, okay. So we'll have wall, we will have floor, and then we were going to have a ceiling material. And then we need to make that actually map correctly. So in the map component is where all this mapping gets done. So we do have the name to material. What we want to do is we want to find game objects named floor. Okay. We don't want to do this. We want to do something else. So this is how the name to material, this is how the scriptable dictionary works. We have this material list. We can index it just as though it's it is a dictionary. So here we collect a list of mesh renderers, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to map the name of the game object. We're going to use the name of the game object to look up the material for it. So in this case, we're going to say it's name to material using the renderer.gameObject.name. So in this case, things named floor will use the floor material, and things named wall will use the wall material, assuming I did this right, and assuming everything is named correctly. Doesn't look like we found any errors. Yep, that is god-awful looking. But it does work, which is what I wanted. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of difference between the floor and the wall. Also, unfortunately, the floor and the wall are facing basically the same way, which I don't... The planks are facing basically the same way, which is like exactly what I wanted to avoid. So I'm going to go into textures here. And let me open this in Explorer, and then let me go into, let's say, the wall. No, the floor. Yes. We're going to just rotate this in GIMP so that it should be fine. Overwrite that. Okay. Great. Now that that's done, that should cause the planks on the floor to face a different way, which should make it a little bit easier to see where we're going. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, what I wanted is in first person so that we could tell sort of the difference between the floor and the wall. And actually in the materials, I'm going to take the wall and... Oh, can I not add... URP unlit, whoops, URP unlit texture and color. So I can't, you can't add a shading to this? Huh, really? So this is unlit. Really? That's kind of annoying. It's really kind of annoying that you can't add, that we can't lighten or darken this. I'm curious as to why it's done that way. I had really expected us to be able to. In that case, I mean, I guess since these are just placeholders, what we can do is we can just lighten the base texture ourselves. That means more texture work. So we'll just use the wall for this. What we'll do is we'll just say colors, levels, and then I think if we bring the darkness, no, that's the lightness. If we bring the darkness like that. Hey Zaysha, how's it going? Thank you. Yeah, I'm just coming back trying to add some textures and stuff to this. It looks god awful, but we can at least see where we're going now. We can at least see the difference between the floor and the walls. So brace your eyes. It looks god awful. These are not like the final textures, but what I want to do is I'm going to start working on like the movement, and using like solid unlit colors is not going to work for moving around. We're not going to be able to figure out where we are. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't actually hate it as much as I thought I would. But yeah, at least I know it works. What I do need to do is, unfortunately, I need to go through all of the tiles and add a ceiling to them. But how are you doing? Let me see, what we need is a 1. This needs to be a -90, and it needs to be called a, the ceiling. Yes, that. Cool. Alright, now let's see if we can just copy this and paste it multiple times. Oops. If I just paste. Yay! It's very easy to do. That's good. Doing alright. I can't wait because tomorrow I'll actually, yeah, pretty good. Tomorrow we will have the new stream overlay stuff. So I looked at it; it looks pretty good. I feel it's good that someone actually did that for me, because I knew I needed to do the stream overlay stuff. Like I knew that I needed to get a better one, or I need to actually get one. But I tend to be like super introverted, so I just have been like, I was like, I'll do it, you know, whenever I get X number of followers or something, and I just haven't been doing it, so I'm glad that someone finally did it for me. Yeah, if I did this right, or if I'm doing this right, then this should cause the roof to appear at some point. Or not at some point, but whenever we run this again. Should get roof tiles. It's unfortunate that you can't add something to like a giant like list of prefabs or something. Like, I don't know, I'm glad that Unity updated their sort of prefab system, but it still feels a little bit lacking in that I can't add something to a large group of prefabs. That's 12, and then we have 13 here, then 14, then the wedge itself, I suppose you could if you used prefab variants. Oh yeah, that's true. I should look into that at some point. Like, it's one of those things, like I know that it exists, but I'm not sure how to use it. It's like that case where like you know that it exists, or I know that it exists, but I'm not sure how to use it. So like I never come to a thing where I'm like, oh yeah, I could use prefab variants here, because like I never know what they do. So should this work? Yes. Okay. That actually almost looks 3D. That's oddly 3D looking. Like the base floor, yeah, that's, and then the variants would have different walls. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So like the variants are, it's kind of like a tree almost, like the variant is the parent and the children are kind of like the leaves. I can't get over how 3D that, like, I can't get over how 3D that looks. That looks so weird. But anyway, that needs to, we need to rotate that. So let's go to the ceiling. But yeah, that's what I'm getting from it, is that it seems like the kind of requires you know what you need ahead of time. Okay. Yeah, it seems like it would. So it's kind of like the variants inherit from the base in a way. Is that kind of right? And I guess a follow-up question, can you have variants of variants? So could you have like a multi-layered kind of inheritance thing? Okay. I mean, it is very ugly, but it will definitely work. Yeah, like a tree, each node has a difference between each parent node. Okay. Okay. So let us, and it propagates changes. Okay. Then yeah, between streams I might go back and set it up that way. So I was going to say set the tiles that way, but no, set up the tiles that way. So we need to make a character controller now. So I guess this is going to be the, let's say player controller component. So yeah, we have the fun of doing grid-based movement in first person. So I think I know how I'm going to do this. Game. Okay, so I believe what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a target. Okay, actually, I was looking at how to do this before. So the way that I figured it out was that I can do it as a state machine. Because for a dungeon crawler, you move only forward, like whatever your local forward is, that's the way that you move. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a public enum and call it facing. And then we'll say north, north, east, south, and west. And so the reason for doing it this way is that as you turn clockwise, you will reach a new sort of facing. And then so what I can do is I can then say that we have a public static class. It will be the facing extensions. And then what we can do is we can say public static facing, we can say turn. We can say turn left, I guess, or yeah, turn left. And we'll say this facing That'll be our current facing, right? And so, or no, not turn left, just say left. And what we can do is we can return current -1. So we can cast current to an int. We can subtract 1, and then we can add. Oh, here's a question. Is there any way for an enum, is there any way to get the number of values in the enum? Will size of do it? I would highly doubt that that's how that works, right? No, it isn't. Okay. We can say, or actually, say index is equal to current. So then we can say, yeah, you need to use, oh, okay, right. You're right. Okay, so it's in system. Isn't that in system? Is it enum dot, okay. Yeah, it is, okay. Oh, right, I remember this. You can't, there's no, I remember this. There's no, right, there's no count. What there is you get the values, and then you get the length of that. I remember now. It's been a long time since I've done that. So it's the length plus the index minus 1. And then we can say, oh wait, is it, oh, is it type of facing? Is that what it is? Modulus 4. Doesn't like this, why? Ah, okay. So we'd have to then convert it back. Trying to think if there's a way to get, trying to think if there's a way to avoid getting this multiple times, but I don't think there is. So yes, we can say var length, or facings. Yeah, sure. Grab that. Whoop. Grab that. Then we can say that it is the facings plus that modulus the facings. And then it can't be, it would have to be converted back into facing. Why? Yeah, okay. And so this will get the value, I don't know if this will actually get the value for turning left. It doesn't. It gets the value, no it does. Yeah, because if you're facing north, then you turn left, you face west, yes, okay. So now we say public static, and then we can do the same thing for right. Okay. So that lets us turn left and right. And now we can create a, let's say, a protected, protected static, or no, we'll say private because it has to be. All right, we can't create a protected, it has to be public, it has to be private. Private static, it's a list. We'll be using system collections generic. System collections generic. Okay, it'll be a list of actions, or no, yes, a list of actions that take a player controller component. And this will be the movement functions. So we'll have an entry for each of those, or for each facing we'll have an entry in that list for movement. Private static list of action to player controller component, and this will be the turn functions. That, okay. I think that'll work. Actually, no, I don't think we need to. I'm trying to think how this actually works, because I don't think we actually need a function to do this. I think we just need to track the rotations. I think we actually just need rotations. And this doesn't need to be a list of actions, it needs to be a list of quaternions, I believe. Actually, question, does quaternion have, no, it doesn't. Okay, I didn't think it did, but I guess if we rotate, no, that wouldn't work, never mind. Okay, so yeah, rotations. So we'll say that this is quaternion.Euler. So whenever we're facing north, that's going to be forward on the z-axis, so that's going to be 0 degrees. And then, so forget how unity works. If I rotate 90 degrees, is that right? I think that's right. I think literally if I rotate something along this axis. So if I rotate that way, yeah, that's to the right, okay. So then facing east, this would be 90 degrees. And then we can duplicate this twice more. So this will be 180 degrees, and this will be at minus 90. Actually, we can just say 270, because it'll just do it all for us. Okay. So we have this, and then we have this. So given the player, if the player is facing forward, then what we'll want to do is we'll want to have a public, I'm trying to think, int x, or no, we'll have to say target z, a public int target x, something like that. So we'll just have to say player.target z plus equal to 1, and then we can duplicate this a couple times. So if we're facing east, that's facing right, so we need to change the target x by a factor of 1. If we are facing south, we need to change the target z by a factor of -1, then the target x by a factor of -1. So now we can say public static quaternion rotation given some facing, and that's going to be equal to, we just need to return, well actually we don't even need this to be a method, it can just be expression defined. It will be rotations at an integer cast to current, or to facing. Okay, and then we can also do the same thing for, say move, then we'll use the facing, and then we will have the player component player, and then we'll use the movement functions, say movement functions at that facing dot invoke player. Static constructor would be nice. Would be a nice way to store the enum values at the start. A static constructor would be a nice way to store the enum values or values at start. By static constructor, is there some way to do that for a facing, or for an enum? Is there some way to add some kind of constructor, or would I need to create some like other class for it? Be a nice way to store enum names or values at start. It would need to be part of a class. Okay. I just used that extension class. Yeah, that's true. So what I could do, yeah, it would probably be cleaner than doing it this way, honestly. Well, the thing is, so what I'm trying to, Okay. Trying to think of how you would map between the facing itself and the actual extension value. I guess just to avoid getting the values a lot, that creates garbage. Yeah, that's true. Oh, these values. Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Oh, okay, so if you... Wait, you can have, like, static constructors? So... Oh, so you mean for the getting the values. So, like... Is there a way? Enum, or facing length? I don't know what you mean by a static constructor. Because I don't think, so this wouldn't work, but is there a way to do like static constructor? Is there really a thing like a static, is there really that? Is that the syntax? Dot length. So I was completely unaware of that syntax. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I was completely unaware of that. Wait a minute. So, does it matter what access modifier I put on this? Can I put this? So this can be a protected static, but can it be public? No. Access modifiers are not allowed on static constructors. Oh, okay, it didn't work there. I see. Okay, so it hadn't registered yet. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you can't put access modifiers. Okay, that's interesting. That's cool to know. Yeah, thank you. I didn't know that that was a thing. Just say count. You would never want to call it anyway. Yeah, you're right. That's why I was experimenting with the modifiers, because I was like, I put this on it, and then I was like, wait a minute, I would never want this to be anything like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it gets called super early. I would imagine that it gets called like when this class is loaded or something. Like in Java, they have something similar. They have in Java, you just do this, and it's just a static block. You don't even have to give it the name. It gets called, I don't even know when it gets called. It gets called like after the class is loaded, I think. But like right after the class is loaded. When the domain is created, okay. So yeah, that's true. Now we can get rid of all of this. I like that, okay. So rather than calling this count, we will call this facings, yes. All right, the index doesn't exist because, right. That's why. Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, that makes it much nicer. So what is it mad at me about here? It doesn't like what? Oh, read-only modifier. Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay, so it's smart enough. Okay, so it's smart enough to notice the relation between those two. That's good too. Sure, read-only. Okay, yeah. Okay, there we go. So it's very happy with all that. All right. So now in private void update, what we can do is we can have a protected vector3. This will be the target position. Then we can have, I'm trying to think with this. We can have a get, and then a set, and I think, can we expression define this? Can we only define this as the setter? So can we do new, say this is equal to target position dot, no we can't, it wouldn't make any sense, right? I'm not a huge fan of having to create the actual backing members for this, but sure. I wish there was a way that you could just like do something after the setter, but we can't. We have to actually do target z, and then we have to say the value is equal to whatever. I guess we could just make the target position a thing. Yeah, let's just make the target position a thing. All right, so we'll create a public vector3. This will be the target position. It could really be a vector or an int vector3, right? Int vector or vector3 int. Yeah, this will be the target position. Then we'll have a get, and then that will yield the target position. And then have a set. That will actually be implemented. So then we'll have a protected vector3 int target position. Okay, that will yield that, and then we'll say that the target position equal value. Oh right, we don't need that. What about set? Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, whenever I was doing the set thing, I was wondering if there was a way that I could only implement the auto property set. But actually, no. Actually, never mind. It doesn't. Right, because here it wouldn't matter. Okay, the only reason that I wanted to change the setting or change the set is that whenever I set the int for like whenever I had a target x and a target z, the only reason, or the thing that I want to do is whenever I set the target x, right, this is annoying because what I want is I want to do all of the math in integers. Like for computing the x position, I want to do the math in integers, but for the purposes of well, okay, actually, gave me an idea. Because for computing the next position, whenever I go from A to B, from 1 to 2, I want to compute that in integers because I don't want to have like offsets, because like the offsets will build up over time and it won't work very well. But if I just had a vector3 target position, and then we can just have that like that, that's fine. What we can do is in here, we can do the rounding. So we can say, this is a new, say the player.target position is equal to a new vector3, which is player.target position dot x. The problem is that this is going to get very, very ugly, but it'll work. And so we can use like round, is it round to int? Yeah, it's round to int. Mathf.round to int. So we want the x, and then we want the 0 here, and then we want the z. And then I think if we're facing forward, we want the z plus 1, like that. Yeah, okay. It's very ugly, but it's only 4 lines, so I'm just going to go with it. So this will be x plus 1. Yeah, it's very ugly, but can make it work. Okay, and so we want the x plus 1 here, and the x minus 1 here. That way all of the math will be done in integers, and yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that'll work. So now an update. So we say if input dot get key down key code dot w. We also need to store facing, so we need protected facing. So now we can say facing dot move. Then we can move ourselves along that facing. Not player, this. All right, and so now we say if input dot get key down key code dot a, and we rotate left. Facing equals facing dot left. Find whatever facing is to our left, and then yeah. And the same is true of this. Dot right, and then we will say right now we're just going to turn instantly, so we'll say transform dot rotation is equal to facing dot rotation whenever rotation is the new facing. And so in that case, we'll say that what we want to do is we'll say if the distance vector3.distance between ourselves and the target position is greater than 0.1f, then we want to say the transform.position is equal to vector3 dot lerp between ourselves and the target at a rate of 0.05 or maybe 0.1. As such, transform.position. I believe this will work. If I understand what I am doing. Let us try. So now, if I put you at 0, 0, and then I put a player component on that, okay. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, that's not working. Okay, so the turning doesn't work. Not sure why. Yeah, the A and the D is not working. Okay. But otherwise, everything seems okay. Are we changing our facing at all? So A and D are just not being processed. What did I do wrong? So A, okay, that's the problem. I didn't change this to D. There we go. And actually the target position needs to be at our current position. It needs to be at 1/2. Well, actually, no. What we should do is we should put the camera, yeah, okay, that's what we should do. So change this to normal, we'll remove this, make a parent, which we will set at 0, 0, 0. Camera itself should be at 0, 1/2, and 0. And now, we can say player controller. All right, so, okay, why did that happen? Did I add it back to the camera? No, that's not what I meant to do. This is the player. Now I want to put that there. All right. There we go. So now, yeah, okay. I like it. Okay, so yeah, now we turn instantly. Also, I think we're now, all right, here we're actually in, interesting, okay. It does look like a very old like a very, very old game. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of like it. It actually, I don't know, it makes me think of like one of the very, very old games. It does feel like just a game from like, I don't know, early, maybe like super early 2000s. Like I could imagine, you know, you'd expect this sort of thing from like a Heroes of Might and Magic from like, you know, 2001 or something. Huh, that's interesting that moving between those three gives that kind of effect. Early Doom era, yeah, that was actually what came to mind, was early Doom era. Yeah, just like the color scheme, I guess. It's kind of early Doom era. Okay. What we need to do now is we need to have a protected quaternion, which is the target rotation. So now we can get smooth rotation. We'll say if quaternion dot angle or predoom, yeah, it has that just, I don't know what it is about the textures from that era, but it does have that sort of look to it. So if the angle is greater than 1/10 of an angle, then we say transform rotation is equal to quaternion.lerp between our rotation and the target rotation at a rate of 0.1 per second. Now I think we should have smooth, oh yeah, target rotation. So we say the target rotation is equal to that. Now we should have smooth rotations. Let's see what that's about. Okay, yeah, we have smooth rotations. I like it. Okay. And yeah, I think we're snapping to a grid, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's still accurate to like 2 decimal places. So we should never get too far off of the grid. Yeah, happy with that. All right, so now we need to do something about, well, first off, we need to have the interior of the ship. So I'm going to try to encode this into the world there. So I don't know how that's going to work. Let me go to map data, and let me grab this ship, and let me create a second one. So this will be the hold. Because there will be a deck, and there will also be a hold for each ship. So I got to think how... Oh, I need to go get the mapping thing that I had. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so to create the walls that I want, instead of being a 1, this needs to be a 3. That one needs to be a 2. Okay. So that one there? No, that one there. Yeah, that one there. That needs to be a 4. I think all of those need to be 4. Yeah, those need to be 4s. Okay, so 4, 4, and 4. We'll have a door. Will we have a door there? We'll have a door there. Yeah, I think that's right. That's a door there. Okay. And so now... wait, no, I did that wrong. No, these are zeros. Yeah, this is going to be the fun part of this. 4, 4, and a 4. And then here. This is the one that we want that's different. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's the center. Right, that's right. Okay. Wait. No, oh my god, this is the trippy part, is that having the walls between the tiles is the trippy part. So actually no, because the 3 is there. 3 is like that. Yeah, we need, actually no, these do need to be 4s because the player can move across the 4s. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, and then this is the actual wall there, so this one is the different one. So that one's a 9 instead of a 1, and then an 8. That's a 9, and that's an 8. Okay, and then the empty spots will be doors. Or, you know, the spot, yeah. The empty spots will have doors. Okay, so let's first off just see how this ends up working out. Let's find all references. Yep. Cool. Let's see what we get here. Okay. So we do have, yep, the wall's there. That's what I thought. Let me just look at it in the scene. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do. So yeah, that will be the ship interior. Actually, didn't this one have... No, it didn't. Okay. Yeah, this will be the ship interior. So I think the stairs are going to go like right here. And so the player will come down here. They'll have a door here. There'll be a door here and a door here. So yeah. Sort of the stuff we need to start working with is the doors. All right. And so the question becomes, how to do the doors? So what I'm thinking is that the doors will be three-dimensional objects, and they will, it's a question. It's also a question of how to represent the doors or where they're going to end up. I think they're going to be a part of the map itself. Oh, but that'll be difficult because, yeah, that'll be difficult. Because then I'd either have to do coordinates or have a limit of one object per tile. It's definitely a question of how to do this. I guess what we'll do. Yeah, I guess what we'll do is we'll just have different like kind of objects, and we'll just have like a 3D object for the door. So what I'm thinking, let me find one of these things. Let me create a 3D object. Let me create a cube. Let's move this to 0, 0, 0. All right. Yep, we have our lovely cube at here. So yeah, the idea is that it's going to end up, the object itself is going to be there. The actual cube is going to be the door. It's going to be like, let's say 0.1. No, 0.1. I should probably memorize this, 0.05, I guess. And then it's going to sit here. And so that will be our little door. And I do want sort of an opening animation. So if I add a parent, and I put the parent over here, and then I move the door itself over to here, parent should just be able to, if I wanted it to open, I would just kind of rotate it like that, and then it would be open. Yeah, okay. So I think what that means is that we're going to need 4 different door things. It's also a question of whether it should open in a specific way or if it should open away from the player. I mean, in theory it should open, well, no, it should open in a specific way. Because I'm thinking of a door that's like in a hallway or something that might block the player's movement. But yeah, we'll have something like this. And so the idea is that we'll have a secondary sort of map for all of the objects that get spawned. And so that way we have the walls on one map and we have the actual door stuff on another map. And there will be more than just doors. There will be like, you know, chests and things like that. What that amounts to is basically just more prefabs. So in the case of tiles, what I can do is I can probably just grab, well actually we don't need to do any of that, no. We just need to, let's create a quad. Yeah, let's create a quad and then give it a 90 degree turn. And then we can set the player invisible for now because we don't need to see it. Right, so we'll have this floor. This floor will have nothing to do with the actual object. Whoops. Just create an empty. This will be the door. Be at 0. This will be the door dash official sponsor of the stream. No, this will be door at 1. Yes. So this will be the northward facing one, which faces that way. Okay. And then we'll have our 3D object, which is our, sure, it'll be a cube. This will be the actual door itself. And then it'll be at 0.1. Let's say point, actually I'm thinking 0.05, but no, maybe actually 0.1. Is that too thick? That's probably too thick. 0.07. Yeah, 0.07 is probably fine. And put it up here and there. Yeah, like that, okay. And then we'll add a parent object. And we'll just put the hinge over here. And the actual door itself can sit here. So this is the hinge. All right. And so we will leave the collider on the door. The player will never collide with it. It'll just be there so that we can detect the door in 3D space when we need to. So we'll have that, and that will be door 1. And so door 2, I believe, needs to be at the same place, just rotated. Yes, just rotated 90 degrees. So that effectively amounts to just rotating that 90 degrees. And then put this here. Actually, that's fine. And that's fine. Oh yeah, the door itself, that needs to be unrotated. There we go. So this is door dash 2. And what we can do in, no, we just put this in prefabs. So that's tiles. This is objects. Oops. Call it objects. Actually, we'll call it decoration. So this will be door 1 and door 2. And then with this, we can unpack you completely. And the hinge just needs to be moved back to over there. And this is 4. And then we can unpack you completely. And we can move you over here. And then set this to 8. All right. And so what we will get with that, if I did that right, is that now we can create a second layer to the map. This is map, or map data. And we can create, your map data, partial class map data, okay. Let's call you maps. And you won't be a partial class, you'll just be a class. You'll be map data. And then what we'll have is we'll have public public class map decoration. And this will just be, yeah, map data, that's fine. But it won't be partial. And then instead of doing this, that's fine. It's not maps, it's map data. Yep. I don't know why. Oh, okay. It's upset because of those. Yeah. Why is it not happy with that? Cannot be accessed. Oh, because it's a protected set. Okay. Okay, actually there's probably a better way to do this then. So make this partial. Add that to maps there. Okay. Let's be map data, map data, map data, and map data. What we need then is we need probably just a public, I guess string. Yeah, string, and this will be a decoration. Then it'll be a get and a protected set. Okay. And we'll make a public constant. I guess. If the tiles have no decoration. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. So in shiphold, we'll create a decoration map. It'll be new string as such. And then what we need to do is basically we need to create a copy of that map. So in this case, that is a tile. Probably want a public constant string. We basically want a string version of this. Maybe XXX? No. Like that? No? That might work. And then with that, let's say 1, so we can get one of those. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we can just duplicate this a couple times. 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, and so for the doors, say public constant string. This will be underscore, this will be D01, which will be door 1. Like that, 2, 3, 4, or no, this is 2, 4, 8. And this will be 2, 4, 8. Okay. And so then, where we want the doors, if I understand this, is in this row, I think the second level? No, third, where the 8 is? No, it's not there. It's here on the second row. So here is where we want the door. That will be D4. 4. So there's a door there. And then in this row, down at the bottom, so here, we want a door at 8. So D08. And then over here, we want a door at 2. D02. Something like that. And for you, we'll just grab this and we'll just put decoration there. Just create an empty decoration map for that. Okay. So if I did that right, then what we should do is in the map component, we should have map data. Okay. And then we should have a protected. Is it a tile list here? Really, this should be an object list or a prefab list. This is going to break everything if I do it though. So rather than a tile list, we'll have a prefab list. Yeah, I'll just grab this. So I have a prefab list here, and we'll say list/prefab. And then in the map component itself, we will have the protected, this will be a prefab list. This will be named to prefab. Then we'll serialize that as a field. And then in here, we basically do the same thing, but what we say is create the tile. So create tile. And then here we create the decoration. So we say if, what is it? No, say var decoration equals map decoration of xy. If decoration is equal to null, then we return. Otherwise, we want to instantiate the decoration. Or no, we want to instantiate the name to decoration, name to prefab at decoration at position and quaternion.identity. Okay. That way, we should now see the doors appear. They should appear in the correct direction. Assuming I did all this right. Ooh. Oh, right, because I never created the actual list of prefabs. This is list of prefab, this is decoration. And then there can be 4 in here. So prefabs, decoration, so 1, 2, 4, and 8. All right. Not set to an instance. Oh, right, because I didn't reference it in the map component. Okay. And that is over here. Yes, okay. There we go. And so now we have a door here, we have a door there, and we have a door there. Excellent. So now we just need them to actually open. Figure out how that's going to work. Yeah, at least spawn the doors. There will also be stairs here. We'll have to figure out how to do that. Have to figure out the rules for that too, whether we want that to be one directional or not. And based on the designs of these, I think forcing the stairs to be a single directional thing is probably fine. So given that, that means that we need to actually modify this a little bit. Because stairs will be facing that way, but I think they actually want to face this way. So that would mean that this tile here needs to have a wall there. Okay, so we can do that in the map data. So that is right there, right above, or no, I think it's right here. Because normally it would be an empty space. Yeah, and so it just needs a wall at the bottom, which is a 4, so 04. Right. So let's check this out. Okay, yeah, now there's a wall there. So the stairs will be right there, and then we can just go up the stairs that way. Okay. And it'll probably, whenever the player spawns, they'll spawn, you know, kind of facing that way. Maybe they'll spawn on the stairs. Yeah, they'll probably spawn on the stairs. But yeah, we probably need to get the stairs over there at some point. And also, we might need to somehow remove that roof. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we won't worry about it. Yeah. Or we could set the style for that roof to be invisible or something like that. That might work too. Okay, so for the opening the doors, that shouldn't be too hard. So for opening the doors, what we want to do is we want to do a raycast outward, and then we want to find some kind of, I think we're going to call it an interactable component. Yeah, I'll probably call it an interactable component. Interactable component. Okay. Say namespace red+blue.game. And what we want to do is we want to raycast from the camera itself. And if we find anything, when we try to do that raycast, we want to interact with whatever we hit. So say public void interact. And in this case, it's going to be, actually we'll make this virtual. And then we'll override it in a subclass. Virtual. Yeah, there we go. We'll override it in some subclass, so I guess we'll have a folder for interactables. This will be interactable, yep, that's fine, and then we'll move this into, whoops, no. Move this into here, create a door component. Door component. All right, this will be namespace red+blue.game. .game. And we will inherit from the interactable component. We will have, let's say, the hinge. So for the what we want to do for this is we want to move the hinge to an open position. So we'll say protected. Oh, hey, W. Can't you move a class to namespace instead of copying the class? Can't you move a class? Looks a little tedious when you have to copy, paste every new file. Might be used to it. Can't you move a class to namespace instead of typing and copying? Oh, can you do that? Can you just like, I don't know what you mean about moving a class instead of typing and copying the class. Looks tedious when you have to copy. Yeah, I agree. The copy pasting in every new file is very tedious, and there's got to be a better way to do it, but I'm not sure what it is. So you said there's a way to move class to namespace. Is there a way to do it? Yeah, quick action. What's it called? Control space. Move namespace. Control space. Let me look it up. What is it? Not Unity. Visual Studio. Move class to namespace. Move type to namespace. Control plus. Oh, okay. Oh, control dot. So if I... Oh, that's cool. So hang on. I was going to do that. Let me just try that. Okay. So if I were to make, like, let's say a door component, then I said control plus or control dot, and I said namespace. No, I'd have to do this. But I could say red+blue. Oh, whoops. Well, that's cool. So if I do that, and then I type this, it's red+blue dot. There we go. Okay, that's super convenient. Yeah, you're right. Okay, thank you. I had not investigated the quick actions and stuff in Visual Studio, and I really need to. But I just haven't invested the time in it. So in that case, I guess I can't. All right. Yeah, thank you. That's a good point. So let me think. Interactable. Do you know where I can set up the template files by chance? So like whenever I go to new item, do you know where I can set up these templates? Because it would be nice to have just like a template that had this in it, but I've never been able to figure out where it is. Because apparently they're somewhere, but like, I can't find them. Not sure if Unity will override it. Well, I mean, it's a Unity, so as far as I know, this is a Unity, these are Unity templates as far as I know. Like I think they're like a template set installed by Unity. Can right-click the assembly, C# and open properties. And open properties. It's weird, but whenever I try to do that, it doesn't seem to do anything. If there's a properties window, I'm not seeing it. I mean, I think this is just a Visual Studio issue. What's going on? It doesn't open, or does it open on a different screen? Ah, that's a good question. Unity would reset anything in there anyway. Oh, it would? Okay. Yeah, it appears to just not be opening. Huh, okay. Unity, or, that's weird. But yeah, it flashes for a second and then it just doesn't open. So, I guess whatever Unity is doing, oh well, that's unfortunate. I thought there was a way to overwrite these templates, but I guess not. That's sad. Default namespace. Okay, so I'm just going to do this animation programmatically. So this will be a protected Quaternion. This will be the target rotation. No, you do it with an ASM def file in the Unity project. With an ASM def file in the Unity project. That's where you can define, really? So hold on. So if I went to here, and I hopped over to that, is this a new file that I would need to create, like a .asm? ASM def file. Huh. Interesting. Oh, it's a project asset, really? Okay. So I can just... did this tell me where it was? Window General Project. Window General Project. Something that is Unity specific, because regular C# project works differently, as I recall. So, Window General Project. Oh, in here. Unity manages the C# project for you. Create assembly definition. Right click there. Oh, so it is a thing. I've never seen this. Okay. Oh my god, that's insane. Wow. How long has this been a thing? Jeez, that's cool. Okay. So this is a new assembly definition. Will this create a whole new... Did that? Oh my god, wow, that's crazy. I've never seen it. Wow, that's crazy. I've never seen anyone go over this. Also, everything exploded. Oh boy. Though I think the root namespace is a 2018 plus thing. Ah, okay. Sure. Let's see if we can make this work. Okay, that still calls itself new assembly. That's not what I want. Let's grab this. Let's grab that, and let's say... Yeah, I've never seen anyone go over this. Apply that. Yeah, it causes a secondary assembly, and you have to add references to the libraries you're using. Ah, okay. So in this case, the list view here is going to have issues with TM Pro. So there's, you need to add, oh, you have to add it to the ASM dev itself. Okay. So define constants, define variables. This is platforms, okay. Assembly definition references? Missing reference. Oh, so do I have to... Yeah, okay, so I have to find... So would it be in resources? No, it's in... No, actually, where is it? Oh, okay. Click the button to the right, okay. Unity.TextMeshPro, ah, okay. Now, do I have to reference, is it good enough to just reference TextMeshPro itself, or do I have to reference, the editor stuff as well? I mean, it seems to be okay with that. Let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. I mean, everything, nothing explodes. Okay, that's crazy. Just the stuff you're using, okay. That's crazy, I never knew about that feature. Like, in all the time that I have used Unity, no one has ever mentioned that this was a thing. That's crazy. And so is it... Okay, so if I create a new, let's say, it can improve compile time too, because it only has to reveal, oh, that's cool. So let's say new interactable. So will this, so this doesn't set the namespace automatically though, whenever I add stuff. Or is it just like automatically in that namespace? Like, is there no need to do this anymore? Nope, there's definitely a need to do that anymore. Or did I not do this right? Auto-referenced, no engine reference. Not sure how to get it supported on the IDE site. In Writer, it kind of just works. Okay. I was wondering, like, I know that whenever you create a new item, the original question was, is there any way to change these templates? Because I thought there was, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I thought there was a way that you could add new templates to... I thought there was a way that you could add new templates to it, but... Oh. Everything's fine. Part of an extension, so whatever that got installed to, wherever that got installed to. So Unity, C# templates. Fight Unity C# templates. How to create your own C# templates. Default script template. Where is this? Oh my god, this is ancient. Unity installation, editor data resources. Is that true? Let me see, actually. User settings, no. Project, no. Packages, no. Templates, when you use the right-click menu in the project, it's in the user app data folder. Oh, really? Okay. That doesn't add templates to the new menu in the IDE. Oh. So I assume it'd be like app data, is it local? Data local editor, no. Roaming? Editor? No. Oops. Local low? Editor? Caches, nope. Browser, nope. Maybe, let's say unity.auto.log.editor.editor, no. It wouldn't be in here. Would it? Would it? No. Although that's getting closer. But that's presets. I can't find it. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about it. But at least I have some vague idea of where it is. But okay. So what I will do is, so to make this door stuff work, it'll be the transform. Yeah, it's good to know about this ASM dev stuff. I'll have to see what that does, because I've just never heard of that. Pretty neat to see it though. Say Quaternion target rotation. So I'm just going to animate this programmatically, because it makes more sense to do it. I mean, I could get a whole animator thing, but I don't really want to. Too lazy. So for private void update, what we can do is we can say protected bool interacted. You can say if not interacted. Sorry, if interacted, then we can just return. Otherwise, whenever we do the interaction, we just want to say target rotation equals, I don't know, Quaternion.Euler, let's say 80 degrees. So no degrees around there, 80 degrees around the x-axis, or on the y-axis. We'll set it to that. We'll say interacted equal true. Oh, but that won't help. So no. I almost want to use an animator, but no. I guess what we can do is we can have a protected action. We can store the update method in an action. Basically, I just want the update, so say this is animate, and that can point to protected void animate. Basically, I just want this update only running when we actually want to do something. Is that right? No, we want update to point there. And we'll just say update dot invoke such. And then here what we can do is we can say that the update is equal to update equals animate. What extensions do you have installed for Unity? I just have the default, whatever Unity comes with as the defaults. That's all I have. I haven't gotten too much into customizing it. Visual Studio items, name, templates. Boilerplate. Quickly add new files directly from the action menu. Yay. Okay. Oh, is this a... I'm not certain how to use this. I'm actually not even certain what it is. Is this an extension to Visual Studio itself? And if it is, how do I install it? Is the other question. So now there's a download thing. Yeah, it's like a plugin. Ah, okay. Installed via extensions, extension manager. So I assume this will give me like an extension sort of file. And then I would do like extensions, manage extensions. So if this is Unity file templates, I assume there's a way to search. It doesn't like that. Or does it have to be, whoops. Or does it have to be the exact name? Connection could not be established. Okay. Oh, okay, interesting. So this is the thing, but wait, that's... What on earth? It was just showing it for a second. Okay. Reload the window? Maybe? Okay. I'm not dropping any frames. My internet's okay. I don't know. Visual Studio is just being dumb. But I will, thank you for showing me this. I will, yeah, it's just Visual Studio being derpy. What I'll do is I'll just keep this tab open and I'll try to install it at some point. But yeah, thank you for telling me about this. Like I knew that I thought there was a way to do it because I thought that I had seen people add their own extensions, but yeah. I thought that it was just like a thing that was natively supported by Visual Studio, but maybe it's not. Yeah, thank you for showing me that. I will install that, or at least, yeah, I'll at least try to again. But yeah, it's Visual Studio just being lame. So what I will do here is I will say in animate, if Quaternion dot, say Quaternion dot angle between transform, or it's hinge.transform.rotation, hinge.transform.rotation, and the target rotation. Unity installs one for Visual Studio 2019 tools for Unity. Unity installs one for you. Visual Studio 2019 tools for Unity. That's where the default ones come from. Ah, okay. So installed tools So this one, okay, Microsoft. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so it installs this. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I thought there was like, the way that I thought that it works, I thought there was like a list, like, or not a list, but I thought there was like a folder somewhere on your system and it just sort of had like a template file for you. But maybe that's just not how that works. Hinge.transform.rotation equals Quaternion.lerp between hinge.transform.rotation and the target rotation by 0.0, or no, we'll say 1.0f times time.delta time. Yeah. All right. And so if that's true, otherwise we'll do that and then we'll return. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll say that the update is equal to null. That way this will only animate once we are interacting with it, and then we'll say protected bool interacted. So in interact, we'll say if interacted, then we return. Otherwise, we do this, and then we interacted equals true. Okay. So this should allow us to interact once, and it should only be running when it has the interaction. So I think this will work. Yeah. And so what we need to do, there is, but it's inside the folder that extension installs to. For me, it is Program Files, Microsoft Visual Studio. Let me grab that. Let me put this in here. Is that a folder? That is a folder. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So that's the ICO. But this is new monobehavior.cs. If I open that, haha. And if it updates, it will likely erase the changes. Okay. So yeah, this is the thing that I was looking for. Yeah. Safe item name. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. If it updates or it reinstalls, yeah. So I guess it's probably better to just install your own version of that, or the version that you pointed me to at least. That way, it's unlikely to get messed up by updates and stuff. Okay, fair enough. So with this door component, what we need to do is we need to add this to something, and then we also need to, in the player controller, we need to have a button to do the rate casting. So in this case, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the extension you pointed me to, I'll try to install that before, or I'll try to at least mess with it and see if Visual Studio will cooperate. Yeah, I don't know. My memory of the custom stuff is from like years ago whenever I was watching somebody else do it. So my memory of that is probably just unreliable. I guess you can install local extension that you manage yourself. Yeah, that too. All right. Okay. So what we will do. Stupid hair. All right. So if the, I guess we'll bind this to what? Let's just say the mouse. So if input dot get mouse button down, we'll say a left click. Then I think we can do physics. We can say if physics dot raycast from, oh God, what is it? Do we have to actually create a new ray? I think we do. It's like camera. Say that the ray is equal to camera dot main dot screen. Screen point to ray, yeah, input mouse position. So create the ray. Unless Microsoft gives some place to put ones shared between all projects, or VS, yeah. I don't know. I would imagine that they're like, okay, you would think that in a like sanely designed system that they would have one. But I continually find that VS is not a sanely designed system. So that's why I'm not like holding my breath for it. It's because I'm like, I don't know. I could definitely see how they would manage to screw it up. So I think we'd say outvar info or hit. And then, yeah. But then again, I'm kind of used to Eclipse, and Eclipse has the same problem. Like, you would expect it to be a sanely designed system, and it's not. So, I don't know, maybe Visual Studio is a bit better, but I don't know. I've just, like, many times I've learned my lesson with looking stuff up for Visual Studio, because it's like, you know, they'll tell you, okay, you know, go to this menu that is like 6 submenus deep, and then you're like, okay, you know, it's like, go to the options menu. It's like, okay, how do I get to the options menu? Go to the settings menu. From where? Okay, how do I get to the settings menu? And then, you know, you're 6 tabs deep into it. It's like, you know, and all you want to do is like change the font color or something. It's like, I can't deal with it. So say var interactable equals hit.collider.getComponent. We'll say interactable component. So if not interactable, then we return, because we don't need to do anything. Otherwise, well, actually, what I'd rather have is I'd rather say protected void handle, and then the click button says edit syntax styles, and it opens a .json, and yeah, exactly. Or worse, it opens an XML and you have to edit it by hand. Or it references, or you know, it opens an XML file that references a JSON file because, you know, it's just, yeah, or an XML. I mean, the only thing worse than XML or JSON is just having XML that references JSON. Man, you could design a really terrible system like that. That'd be great. That'd be hilarious. So we will handle interaction. If it's interactable, then we'll say interactable.interact, and then we'll be done with it. And I think this will work. Okay. Just need to go into the doors and actually add all of that stuff. It shouldn't be too much. So for the prefabs, if we go to decoration, if we go to door, the cool thing is that the collider is already in the correct place. We just need to, well, all right. We'll do this the bad way. So this is the interactable, whoops, wrong. This is the door component, and then this is the hinge, okay. Yeah, so add the door, say door component, and then this is the hinge. Whoops, that's the hinge. Alright, and then same thing, we'll add the door component here, and this will be the hinge. I prefer the door component itself to be at the root of the object, but too lazy to rearrange all of these. Okay. So now I think that will work. Let's see. I can't tell. I think it's trying to do something. Yeah, I think it's actually opening, it's just doing it very slowly. Yes, okay. So it's just opening super slowly. So interactables with door components, so let's say, rather than that, let's just give you a speed of, I don't know, 90? I don't know what the speed in that case would represent. I don't know if it's degrees per second or radians per second. Interestingly, it seems to not be doing anything. Do I have my math wrong? It's greater than that. It's equal to quaternion.lerp between the rotation, target rotation, by 90 degrees. Yeah. Or does it need to be at minus 90? Is it only going to 10? I think it's only going to, okay. So I think it needs to be at minus 80 to actually open. Or maybe it already has a rotation. Oh, maybe it needs to be a local rotation. Okay, that went wrong. Yeah, I think it's going, I think they're going to like a fixed angle. Yeah, they're going to a fixed angle, okay. So it needs to be local rotation. Oops. There we go. Rotation, local rotation. That's all that. Okay. And then that should go to 80 degrees. Goes there very quickly, so let's say maybe 3. You might be able to get some kind of smooth door opening. Okay, maybe it's just a bit, okay. Okay, it seems to have the same issue still. Odd. Yeah, I don't fully understand. But what I do know, well, actually, no. Yeah, I'm very confused as to why that's happening. Alright, let me check. So for you, what do you think your default rotation is? You think it's 0? Yes. Clicking on you doesn't do anything. Okay. What about you? You think your default rotation is what? I think your current rotation is 80. You think your default rotation is 90. Why do you think your default rotation is 90? Is your default rotation? It is 90. That's why you would think that. Okay. So let's create an empty parent. And if we give you the 90 degrees, well, actually no. Right, okay. What we do is we create an empty, and now it's at 0, 0, 0. Now we set you to 0, set you as the child, set you to 0, and then move the rotation up, and then we can get you back to, wait a minute. No, that's not how we do that. So you need to be at the same place. You need to have the offset. You need to parent the door, 0, and then unparent the door. There we go. And that gets the 90 rotation out of you. I guess we just unparent the door, and then just 0, and then reparent. Now the door has the rotation, which is perfectly fine. So the hinge, there we go, that's fine. And the hinge, that's fine. Okay. So now none of them should have that issue. There we go. Okay. I would prefer that they all open the other way, though. So say minus 80 and maybe only at 2 degrees. I guess that's 2 radians a second. So this way, they open that way. Okay, I like that. Yeah, open that way. Okay. Yeah, it is a question of, yeah, doors that rotate. What is this magic? Yeah. Well, you know, in this world you never know. But yeah, I kind of like having the doors rotate that way. It's nice. Yeah, I think it's a kind of nice little animation there. I mean, I think in the end the player's gonna just be able to clip through the doors, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna make that work. I mean, I guess flipping this would cause it to rotate. Well, actually, that's a question. Would flipping that cause it to rotate the other way? I think it does, but maybe my thought on that is wrong. Okay. So this door, if I flip you across the z-axis, box colliders does not support a negative scale or size. Apparently they do. So yeah, that does cause it to rotate the other way. So the same should be true of this. So we could store a flag to invert some of these. So again, same thing. Oh, whoop, no. Oops, -1. Okay. So yeah, I'd prefer that they open all like this way. That way they don't get in the player's way too much. Okay. So that's something we'll have to think about as we design rooms. And then, of course, there will be stairs here, etc., etc. So yeah, I am kind of happy with that. The player... That's interesting. It's interesting how that clips to the wall like that. You have to deal with that somehow. But yeah, I kind of like it. So yeah, I think I'll call it here, because it's been about 2 hours, and I know that my brain is getting a bit overheated. Yeah, I think this is actually a good sort of stopping point. I mean, quite a bit of progress, being able to actually spawn in the map like this. There's no collision at all, but that's fine. We can deal with that a bit later. I think there's relatively easy ways to deal with it. Yeah, I like the turning, I like the moving. There seem to be no issues otherwise. But yeah, tomorrow, thank you. Thank you, nice work, yeah. And thank you for the help. I don't know if I would have, I don't know what this stuff would look like if it weren't for you guys helping me out. Because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I do that I miss. But yeah, tomorrow, be doing some politics stuff. We get to try out the new overlay, and yeah. And then on Monday, we'll go back to working on this. I think Dungeon Crawler thing starts in 5 days, so I think that's Wednesday, or thereabouts. But yeah, I will see you guys on Monday. Thank you for watching.